Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Welcome to episode number 99 of the Blitz Take. I'm here with 2025 NFL Draft Prospect from Merrimack University, Grant Jackson, to get to know his story and how he got to where he is today. So, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
My first question is how did your recruiting process go at the beginning stages
Of college?
of high school?
Of high school? It was a little slow for me. I didn't play much my junior year of high school, so it was a little tough getting recruited because a lot of people have their classes going into the next year squared away. I was a 2019 graduate, and I ended up walking on or having a preferred walk-on offer at Towson, which was not really honored when I got to the school, so I had to end up withdrawing from that school and taking the semester off and looking for other places to go to school. So I had a few D2 and D3 offers, but I didn't have any bigger schools reaching out to me in high school due to some injuries, and my film wasn't the greatest because of those injuries. I got hurt early on in the beginning of my senior season, which kept me from having the film to really showcase my potential. So luckily, my coach has some good relationships with a few college coaches, and I was able to get him with Coach Curran and Merrimack, and um, yeah, I went on my visit, and the rest was history after that little semester gap I took off. So
Uh, how how did you finalize to pick Merrimack?
what was that?
Uh, how did you finalize the decision to pick Merrimack University?
Oh, so when I was during my little gap semester, I was working, and my coach helped me reach out to some schools. Merrimack was one of the schools that recruited me previously, but not too heavy. So I asked him if you could reach out to the coach for me. He reached out to the coach, and I got on the phone with Coach Curran, and we had some talks, and I ended up taking a visit to Merrimack. And they evaluated my film, so and they liked what they saw, a little flash of analysis, so it wasn't nothing crazy. So I ended up earning a partial scholarship. I wasn't on full or anything right away, but I ended up earning a partial scholarship to go to Merrimack. And I was also looking at trying to walk on to JMU, James Madison University, and Merrimack gave me some money, and JMU didn't, and those were my two options. So either pay a ton of money to go to James Madison and try to walk on, or go to Merrimack where they were offering me a scholarship. So I took the scholarship and honored that, and came up to Massachusetts.
I My next question is how was it like playing at the level that you were playing at?
How is it playing at the level I'm playing at?
Yeah.
It was amazing. I feel like being at an FCS school, I didn't realize that there's still going to be some games where you get a lot of attention. You get a lot of attention from not only like the students in the surrounding town, but you get a lot of attention from scouts. You get a lot of attention from surrounding schools and people that want to come to your games. And I didn't think much of it because I went to a bigger high school, and I went to Our Lady of Good Counsel High School, which is a big high school that plays in the WCAC in the DMV area, and we were used to having bigger crowds. So when those bigger schools, and we got to play bigger schools like UConn, and we went to Air Force this past year, I was used to the atmosphere and the environment, because we were used to playing at big places. But those were probably the biggest places I played at, and having thousands and thousands of people at your games was really entertaining. It was really fun for us. It was really exciting, and I think it made some people nervous, but a lot of other people like myself thrived off that. I love having so many fans in the stands and so many people that are cheering and coming to watch you play, and having all of our friends and family there as well too. So it was an amazing experience to be in a part of some of those arenas and part of some of those games with those fan bases and fans and students, and be able to play in front of your peers is a big deal.
What is a typical day like for you on game days?
What was that?
What is a typical day like for you on game days?
Typical game days, man. We wake up. We probably eat breakfast around. Say if kickoff is at 1, breakfast is around I say 8. So I probably try to wake up around 7:30 and Get my whole game day routine going. Make sure everything. I try to pack everything the night before. Game day routine really starts the night before. So I try to have all my, pads, my visor, everything packed up. I have all my stuff laid out in the locker the night before, like the helmet, shoulder pads, jersey, and all that stuff. And then all my accessories, I kind of, go back up to the dorm and I have all of those squared away. All the accessories I want to wear, I pack those up in the bag and I take them over with me in the morning for breakfast. We have team breakfast at 8, like I was saying. We have, after our team breakfast, we have our warrior walk where we walk around the campus, and it's a silent walk, and it's a tradition that Coach Jesus instilled back into the program. And after that, we have a team stretch around, 9 o'clock, and we have a team stretch, and then, you're kind of free after that to do what you want to do. I always go into the weight room and warm my body up. They got a little muscle primer that, the strength staff is always prepared for, so I always try to do that and get my body warmed up there, and then go out to the field and, do some pedal work and some press work with some of the guys that play DD. And I go in and I get ready to, put on my pads and get ready for the game. And we usually, I think, come out an hour or an hour and a half before the game. So, yeah, and I always go out and see my family and say hi to them and say hi to some of my, friends' parents and, chat it up with them and then go back and get locked in.
My next question is, who in your family do you look up to and why?
Who, my family?
Yeah.
The easy response for me is my father. My father is an amazing man. Not only has he, raised him and my mother, not only have they raised, three, beautiful boys. I'm the middle child, but my father, the way he goes about business, and the way he goes to work every day and doesn't complain, the way he treats his wife, the way he showed us how to, love women and take care of women and how to respect women is not matched. The way he is able to instill values in us from, birth until now, and is still instilling stuff in us, me and my brothers, and be able to talk to your kids and have, a good foundation on their, and be able to instill a good foundation in your kids is something that is not very common, that I've noticed in a lot of my, friends and other people. And they gravitate to my father. A lot of my friends have always told me, like, you have a really good home. Like, you have a really good two-parent structure. And I didn't know that was not normal at first. But, growing up with two loving parents and seeing my father and the way he conducts himself, the way he treats people, and how he's just kind to everybody, and sometimes for no reason. And I didn't understand it before while growing up. But my father is one of the nicest people, probably the nicest person I know. And he always has conversations with everybody. We could be walking down the street, and he'll just say hi to anybody and just start talking to them. I'm like, Dad, man, you gotta stop talking to everybody. But in similar ways, I'm kind of the same, and I take that from him and try to give the best energy and the best light I can to anybody I meet, anybody I come across. I try to brighten their day. I try to make their day. I try to be respectful, and I think my father has shown that in so many different ways, and that hopefully it's been trickled down to me and my brothers. But it's affected me. It's definitely affected me, and it's affected my outlook on life.
What current or former NFL player do you compare yourself to?
Say that one more time.
What current or former NFL player do you compare yourself to?
NFL players I compare myself to. There's a lot of NFL players. I like to look at some of the smaller DBs that are still physical and play at a high level. You talk about Kenny Moore and someone with Trent McDuffie, or a rookie like Mike Sanders still. There's a lot of young DBs that are playing right now that are smaller, and even older DBs too. I even go like a Denzel Ward, and I don't have the blazing speed of some of those guys, but I'm working on it. But I think my technique speaks for a lot of itself, and I'm a very technical corner, I'm a very physical corner, and I can press, I can up and run, I can run with a lot of guys down the field, and I'll make plays on the ball, and I can make plays in the run game. A guy like Mike Hilton also, maybe Michael Thomas, second from the Jets, DJ Reed, older corner, but like Xavier Howard, more so in his prime. So I like to look at some of those guys and look at their game to see how I can translate it in my game.
What makes you a unique player on the football field?
Say that one more time.
What makes you a unique player on the football field?
player is my technique. I bounced around a few positions, and now that I play corner for my last two, since I've been in college, I've been playing corner, and my attention to detail and my technique is not it's unmatched. I'm going to be more detail oriented than everybody I know. I'm going to pay attention to those details. I'm going to get technique locked in, and I'm going to be a technician, as well as being a great athlete. It's not just being a great athlete, but I have better technique than 90 95% of guys, So I think that separates me, my IQ, my knowing what's going to happen before it happens, play recognition, being able to break down film and watching film and be able to understand what I'm going to get on certain plays is why I'm able to make some plays because I am a smart player. I understand what offenses are trying to do versus us, and I think that takes me a long way.
My next question is, how many hours a day do you take the time to study film?
How many hours a day?
Yeah.
I don't think it. In college, I wouldn't say it took hours, and that's something that I'll probably get better at as I go to the pros because you have to learn a lot more. But the teams that we played against, I think we would watch film probably 45 minutes to an hour a day, and then maybe if I get some filming on myself, I only need 15 or 20 minutes to really like study. I try to go like game by game instead of just watching, sporadically plays. I try to go game by game and see what they try to do versus different teams. And specifically for Merrimack, what are some things and weaknesses in our defense that other teams would like to look at, and how would they like to attack us? And knowing that, how do we defend those certain weaknesses, and how do we also use our strengths? So I think understanding that and how different teams like to attack, how we played a lot of man coverage and things like that. I try to see what concepts and out of what personnel down and distance things may be. I try to look at those and see where they might attack us at and what are their favorite concepts, what are their favorite things to do, what are their favorite things to run, and when. And then knowing those down and distance, knowing those situations, and being highly aware of situational football was able to help me watching film and locking into those different keys when you're watching film is going to make it so much easier when you go out in the field because when it's 3rd and 6 and you like, okay, I'm going to be in the slot this play. They like the little out route to the slot. If they go spread and they're in doubles and it's 3rd and 6, they like a 6-yard or 7-yard out or something like that, or it's 3rd and 8 or it's 3rd and 5 and they like to go into the boundary and they like to take shots in the boundary with their top guy, or they like to run wind routes. And if he can get you on top, he'll snap it down. And if you're on the bottom of the hip, they're going to throw the fade. It's just a matter of understanding what the offense likes to do and using film to be able to make plays in the game for that.
I got a couple more questions. What was your favorite memory playing at Merrimack?
I got a lot, but can I give you two?
Sure.
Can I give you two? I'm going to give you two. One would be, I would probably say, my first interception of this season, the past season, the 2024 season. I caught a one-hand pick versus Bucknell, and it was really like a game changer for me because I don't think I got a lot of action in the previous games. When we played Aircon, they didn't throw when we played UConn, they didn't throw the ball a lot. They threw the ball a lot, but I didn't have a great game, and there was some stuff where the refs didn't call a few things, and it got me scored on because they ran an illegal play on me. So that really upset me. And in the previous week, we played Air Force, and Air Force doesn't really throw the ball a lot. So in week 1 and 2, I didn't have the best performative games versus our bigger opponents, and it was kind of weighing on me. So when we got to week 3, then we played Bucknell and we went out to PA. I think they threw the ball at me 7 or 8 times, and they didn't complete any catches. So I had a really great game, and one of my best plays was I had a one-hand pick. And it was crazy because it was a route. It was a corner route. They had X was in the boundary, but he was tight, and he was running a corner. And like I said, the film study helped me this early because I knew they like to run the circle 7, the corner route from a tight X spot, especially on those 2nd and long, 3rd and longs. And there was a couple of times during practice when they were running on the scout, there was a couple of guys that beat me on that route. So I wanted to play it a little differently going into the game, and knowing if I got that alignment, I'm knowing that a corner route was probably coming, and knowing that the corner route was coming, I was able to stay on top of that route. And when I turned my head, the ball was right there, and all I had to do was go make a play. So, and the love and the reception from my teammates and everybody on the sideline was just amazing. And be able to look back and say that I made that play, and it just shows a lot of growth for me as an athlete. To where I'm not used to playing this position, and I come in and played my last 2 years, and I'm playing really well, and I'm being able to make plays like that is something I never, thought myself to, be able to do in college, and to be able to do that and do it at a high level and have a game that I had that game was really special for me. And I would say the other special moment, the most special moment for me is my little brother is a freshman at Merrimack, and I was able to play with him this year. So there was a couple times, but the first time we were able to run down the field together was on a kickoff, and we were playing, I think, Stonehill. We were playing Stonehill or Colgate, and I think it was the last 4 games of the season. He redshirted, so he was able to play the last 4 games, and they threw him in there on kickoff with me, and we were able to run down together and high five and hug, and it was just a monumental moment because he's been through so much of his life and had a lot of injuries in his high school career, just like I did. So be able to make it D1 and be able to be a good corner, a good young corner that they're going to need next year, and to be able to, be a guy that they trust to run down on special teams and make plays, and a guy that they know they're going to need was really cool. So I was glad that I was able to play with my little brother because it's always been a dream of mine, and it was just a special moment.
What do you like to do in your free time?
In my free time, big video games. I love playing Madden. I love playing Madden. I hang out with my girlfriend a lot. She went to Merrimack too as well. So Madden or my girlfriend, or play Fortnite with my brothers, or maybe some Warzone here and there. I don't play 2K as much as I used to, but I'm a big basketball guy too. I like to go just shoot the basketball. I think that's probably my favorite thing to do is go outside if it's not cold, or go to the gym and you just shoot the ball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My last question is, if you could have dinner with any current NFL player, who would it be, and where would you go with him?
That's easy. I'll say Stephon Diggs. And I'm from the same place as Stephon, from Gaithersburg, Maryland. Stephon and Trayvon. I grew up around them. I've met them before. And Trayvon used to play with my older brother. He played with him when they were little on 1 year. And I remember, meeting Stephon when I was a little kid, and he was just it was just amazing to be able to meet him when he was in high school before he was, famous. But he had a lot of buzz, and everybody knew where he was, knew who he was, where we're from. And to be able to see his growth and as a high school player, then go to college and do what he did at Maryland, and then get drafted late, but only people that knew that he was going to be as good as he was, and was the people from back home. Everybody in the DMV knew, like, when he got drafted to the Vikings 5th round, I was like, he's going to be making so much money soon because they got a gym. They got a gym in the 5th round, and he got hurt at Maryland. A lot of people don't know he left his junior year after breaking his leg and came back and ran a 4.4 at the combine and did really well, and he was a gem in that draft for sure. Getting drafted in the 5th round is crazy, but for me, that's always been one of my favorite players. It's my favorite receiver in the league, and it's been somebody I wanted to look up to on the football field for a while, and then a lot of kids in the area, the DMV area where I'm from, look up to Stephon Diggs. So to be able to meet with anybody in the NFL, it would have to be him.
Thanks again for taking the time to come on and talk about your story, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me, Alex. You have a good one, all right?
Thank you. You too.